Welcome back to the channel, where we take a nostalgic trip down memory lane and revisit some of the greatest games from the golden era of video gaming. Today, we're turning the clock back to 1992 and stepping into the boots of William B.J. Blazkowicz in the revolutionary first-person shooter that set the stage for an entire genre, Wolfenstein 3D. Before we dive into the action, let's set the stage. It's the early 90s, and the video game industry is buzzing with innovation. 2D side-scrollers and adventure games dominate the market. But then, a small development team at id Software, led by legends John Carmack and John Romero, decided to take gaming to the next dimension. The result was Wolfenstein 3D, the game that would not only change the landscape of video gaming forever, but also lay the groundwork for future first-person shooters. Wolfenstein 3D thrust players into the thick of World War II, where they assumed the role of William B.J. Blazkowicz, an intrepid Allied spy of Polish descent. BJ is a tough-as-nails operative known for his daring escapades and relentless drive to thwart the Nazi war machine. His mission is to infiltrate the infamous Castle Wolfenstein, dismantle the Nazi regime from within, and put an end to their nefarious plans. The game kicks off with BJ captured by the Nazis and imprisoned in Castle Wolfenstein's dungeons. Armed with nothing but his wits and a fierce determination to escape, BJ breaks free from his cell. This daring jailbreak marks the beginning of an epic journey through the castle's labyrinthine corridors, filled with Nazi guards, guard dogs, and other threats. From this moment on, every step BJ takes is fraught with danger, as he battles to survive and carry out his mission. As BJ navigates through the castle, players encounter a variety of enemies, from the basic Nazi foot soldiers to more formidable foes like the heavily armed SS officers and mutated abominations. Each enemy requires a different strategy to overcome, keeping players on their toes and constantly engaged. Throughout Wolfenstein, the story is conveyed not just through its minimalist narrative, but through its immersive gameplay, atmospheric level design, and the intense encounters that keep players engaged. The game's plot might be straightforward, but it's the high stakes, adrenaline-pumping action that truly drives the experience. Every corridor holds a new challenge, every enemy a test of skill, and every victory a step closer to toppling the Nazi regime. Wolfenstein 3D revolutionized the gaming world with its groundbreaking gameplay and mechanics, setting the standard for future first-person shooters. At its core, the game offers a fast-paced, action-packed experience that keeps players on the edge of their seats from start to finish. One of the most significant innovations of Wolfenstein 3D was its use of a first-person perspective. This immersive viewpoint placed players directly in the shoes of B.J. Blazkowicz, allowing them to experience the action firsthand. The game's fluid and responsive controls made it easy for players to navigate the 3D environments, adding a level of realism that was unprecedented at the time. The arsenal is both simple and effective, offering players a variety of weapons to dispatch their enemies. Starting with a knife and a basic pistol, players can upgrade to more powerful weapons, like the submachine gun and the formidable chain gun. Each weapon has its unique characteristics and strategic uses. Combat in Wolfenstein 3D is intense and requires quick reflexes and strategic thinking. Players must learn to manage their ammunition and choose the right weapon for each situation. The game's enemies range from basic guards to elite SS officers, each presenting unique challenges that keep the gameplay fresh and exciting. Survival in Wolfenstein 3D hinges on careful health and ammo management. Players start each level with a limited amount of health and ammunition, which they must replenish by finding medkits, food, and ammo scattered throughout the levels. Hidden caches and secret rooms often contain vital supplies, encouraging players to explore every nook and cranny of the game's intricate levels. The level design in Wolfenstein 3D is a masterclass in creating immersive and challenging environments. Each level is a maze-like structure filled with enemies, traps, and secrets. Players must navigate these labyrinths, finding keys to unlock doors and discovering hidden passages that can lead to valuable treasures or shortcuts. The AI is relatively simple by today's standards, but it was advanced for its time. Enemies can hear gunfire, investigate disturbances, and coordinate attacks, creating a dynamic and challenging combat experience. In the early 1990s, The audio capabilities of video games were rapidly evolving, and Wolfenstein 3D took full advantage of the available technology to deliver an unforgettable auditory experience. The music and sound design were not just background elements. They were integral to building the game's atmosphere and heightening the tension of every encounter. The music of Wolfenstein 3D was composed by Robert Prince, also known as Bobby Prince, a prolific composer who would go on to create iconic soundtracks for other ID Software games like Doom and Duke Nukem 3D. Prince's work on Wolfenstein 3D is a masterclass in creating music that complements and enhances the gameplay experience. The soundtrack of I is characterized by its military-inspired themes, incorporating elements that evoke the intensity and urgency of a covert mission behind enemy lines. The compositions are energetic and driving, using synthesized instrumentation to create a sense of momentum and action. The music varies in tempo and mood, aligned with the game's shifting dynamics and escalating tension. Each track in the game serves a specific purpose, enhancing the mood and emotional impact of the gameplay. The music is not merely a backdrop, it actively shapes the player's experience, making each encounter feel more significant and engaging. While the music sets the tone, the sound effects in Wolfenstein 3D bring the action to life. The game's sound effects were designed to be both functional and immersive, providing players with important auditory cues and enhancing the overall realism of the game world. The music and sound design have left a lasting legacy in the world of video games. Bobby Prince's compositions and the game's innovative use of sound effects set a new standard for how audio could be used to enhance the player's experience. The techniques and principles established in Wolfenstein 3D can be seen in countless first-person shooters that followed, influencing everything from the dynamic soundtracks of modern games to the intricate soundscapes that define the genre today. Before Wolfenstein 3D, the concept of first-person shooters was relatively unexplored. While there were a few precursors such as Maze War, it was Wolfenstein 3D that truly crystallized the genre. Its use of a first-person perspective, immersive 3D environments, and fast-paced gameplay were revolutionary. Players were no longer just controlling a character. They were placed directly into the action, experiencing the game world through the eyes of the protagonist. This innovation sparked a wave of first-person shooters that followed in its wake. Titles like Doom, Quake, and Half-Life all owe a debt to Wolfenstein 3D, building on its groundbreaking mechanics and pushing the boundaries of what first-person shooter games could achieve. The game's success demonstrated the immense potential of the genre, leading to its dominance in the gaming market for decades to come. Wolfenstein 3D also left a significant cultural impact. It popularized the idea of using real-world historical settings and events as a backdrop for video games. The game's portrayal of Nazi enemies and its setting in World War II brought a sense of gravity and realism to the narrative, despite its fantastical elements. This blend of history and fiction has since become a staple in many video games, providing a compelling context for players to engage with. The legacy of Wolfenstein 3D is still felt in the gaming industry today. The series has seen multiple reboots and reimaginings, each paying homage to the original while bringing new elements to the table. Modern Wolfenstein games, such as Wolfenstein, The New Order, and Wolfenstein 2: The New Colossus, have received critical acclaim for their storytelling, gameplay, and adherence to the spirit of the original game. The journey of B.J. Blazkowicz through the perilous halls of Castle Wolfenstein was more than just an action-packed adventure. It was a testament to the power of creativity and technological innovation in the early 90s. The game's success laid the foundation for a legacy that has inspired countless games and developers, shaping the evolution of the FPS genre and the broader gaming industry. As we've explored, the impact of Wolfenstein 3D extends far beyond its immediate success. It revolutionized game design with its intricate levels, secret-laden exploration, and episodic content distribution. It showcased the potential of interactive audio and set new benchmarks for soundtracks and video games. Its influence is seen in the DNA of every first-person shooter that followed, from the corridors of Doom to the vast battlefields of Call of Duty. So, whether you're a seasoned veteran who experienced the original magic back in 1992, or a new player discovering it for the first time, Wolfenstein 3D remains a must-play title. It's a reminder of the roots of the first-person shooter genre and a celebration of the innovative spirit that continues to drive the gaming industry forward. Thank you for joining us on this nostalgic journey through one of the most important games in history. If you enjoyed this deep dive, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more retro gaming content. Until next time, keep questing and keep gaming.